My name is Leah Perez, and I'm from Bakersfield, California, and I'm currently living in Mokpo, South Korea. I want to tell you a little bit about my story and about how I came to know the Lord and the desire that He's put inside of my heart. You see, I grew up in a minister's home, but I was a very typical pastor's kid, as I was very rebellious, didn't really want to listen to what my parents told me to do. But later on, I wound up going to Bible college, and I really wound up rejecting God totally and becoming an atheist. And I remained in that condition, sometimes coming into church, sometimes out of the church, sometimes being agnostic, looking into Buddhism, looking into Islam for well over a decade. But in 2014, I had a very close first-hand encounter with Jesus Christ that totally wound up changing my life. Jesus actually wound up speaking to me in my room, and it really quite scared me quite a bit, to be honest with you. But over the next few years, He would take me through some of the most amazing journeys, and I wound up growing and learning so much. He wound up healing me of my alcoholism. In fact, He even reunited me with my wife. Her name is Soo Young, and we had been divorced for 5 years. And I was back in America, and I had not even seen her for 3 years. And yet, when I came back to South Korea, the night I got back to reunite with her to honor that commitment that I had made before God, in front of my family and in front of her family, she wound up getting pregnant with my daughter, Leah Sarang Perez, and she was born right in the middle of the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. So, 3 years after becoming a believer is when I came back to South Korea, and basically, I've been sitting in America doing some manual labor, working out in the solar panels, like wondering, I'm like, God, I don't really know what I should be doing. Like, God opened the door for me to do this. He told me He was going to do a work in my life, and day in and day out, I did not see the work happening. I was very upset that I had to go out and do manual labor, and I thought that I was above the work. And to top it off, the guys who I was working with were very, they used a lot of profanity and talked very dirty on the job. But after some time, I started to say, you know what, God, this is where you have me. I'm going to give it my all every day. I'm going to minister to these guys. Whenever I have the opportunity, I'm going to share with them. I was able to help a few of them out financially, and daily I would bring in scriptures to them. I'd bring in seeds and gum and stuff like that. So I got the opportunity to share my faith. And after 3 years, He brought me back here. And again, for 3 years, I was just sitting, really not doing much of anything, just taking care of my family. And not that that's just a small thing. It's the most important thing, that God just wanted me to take care of my family and learn to be a husband and a father. And so on the 6-year anniversary, the Lord wound up calling me down to Mokpo South Korea, which is located at the very bottom of South Korea. We were living in Seoul at the time, so at about a 2-week notice, I had to leave my family and go down to Mokpo. And God met me along the way, though. He guided me, He strengthened me, He opened up so many doors. And so now I'm serving there. I'm reaching out to Muslim and Hindus who are out there doing some street evangelism, continually reaching people back in America, because there's a lot of people who are, because of the coronavirus, their children have been isolated, and some of them have lost their jobs, and so it's just been an opportunity for me to share people back home. I've been able to make encouraging videos. The Lord's given me so many opportunities to share my faith in times that I would have never have thought possible. For example, see this tattoo I got right here? It's called Juche. It's North Korean. It's an atheistic philosophy. And so I got this tattoo, and I went to North Korea, and I was a total atheist, and I got this tattoo on me. And then later on, I became a Christian, and so I got the date tattooed on my wrist. So when I got there, I just went down and just started having some conversations with people, and people naturally just started asking me about my tattoos. And it opened up the floodgate for me to be able to share my testimony and talk about my past, me and my wife reuniting. So I thank God that I've been able to serve down there, been able to serve underprivileged children, poor, elderly people who don't really have a whole lot of people to help them. So I'm praying and asking God for more support, whether it's from individuals or churches, even if it's $5, $10, $20 a month. I know it's tough times for lots of people, so I'm not asking for anything huge, but every dollar you get directly helps support missions to spread the gospel, to help me to continue to spread God's amazing redemptive power that He's shown me. I complained so many times after I became a Christian, like, God, why did you let me go down the route that I went down? Why couldn't you have saved me when I went to Bible college? And it took some time for me to accept that God saved me in the moment He wanted to save me. I needed to experience depression. I needed to experience alcoholism. I needed to experience divorce and all the things, all the hopelessness that I had, so that I would truly come to understand God's amazing grace, that I had a testimony I can share to others. And I have a message that I want to share, but in order to do that, in order to get videos out, in order to, this stuff does cost money. It does take resources to even rent a place like this, that I can record this. So I'm really hoping that you can at least join me in prayer. And please follow my missions at www.mokpomissions.com. You can see many of my blogs, many of the stories that I've written, very inspirational videos, some of my sermons, and I thank you so much for listening, and God bless you all.